Dan Crenshaw had some opinions about his Republican colleagues. Dan Crenshaw trashes Freedom Caucus members Marjorie Taylor Greene, Brooks, Gomert, Gozar, Paul Gozar. That's the dude who's friends with Nick Fuentes, Jordan, etc. as performance artists while defending Kinzinger. We have grifters in our midst. Lie after lie after lie.
Supporting these two. There's actually other veterans in Morgan's race. There's other front runners. But why support these two? Well, because I've been in Congress for almost 3 years now. There's two types of members of Congress. There's performance artists, and there's legislators. Now, the performance artists are...
Oh my god, that's so... Holy shit, that's the first time I ever heard somebody say that, but that is so true. Oh my god. Performance artists and legislators. Dude, that is unbelievably true. That is the best way I've ever heard somebody say it.
Are the ones that get all the attention. They're the ones you think are more conservative because they know how to say slogans real well. They know how to recite the lines that they know that our voters want to hear. Let me tell you guys something. In the first 2 years of Trump's presidency...
Which one are you? I will be honest, I think I'm a little bit of both. I have done some pretty performative things, but I think the best politician is someone who knows how to do a level of both, right? For example, Representative Locana leans more on the legislator side. I wish he did lean more into performance. I think more people should know who Locana is and the amazing work he does. But somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, all she does is performance. She hasn't passed any bills. She doesn't know what she's doing when it comes to that. But that's how she gets all of her donations. So I think a good politician knows how to properly balance these two things while leaning mostly on the legislator side.
When Republicans were in control, when every single time we were voting on Donald Trump's agenda...
But if I had to choose between a legislator or a performance artist, I would choose the legislator every time.
Who do you think was at the top of that list voting with Trump, and who do you think was at the bottom? A lot of names you would recognize were at the bottom of that list. A lot of names you would recognize are at the top of that list. Number two is probably going to make you cringe a little bit. It's Adam Kinzinger. Voted with Trump almost 99%. He was number two. You know who's at the bottom? Everybody in the Freedom Caucus. All of them. What you hear so often is not true. It's not true. We have grifters in our midst. Not here, not like in this room. That's not what I mean.
By the way, I disagree with Dan Crenshaw on basically all of his politics, by the way. But what he's saying here is 100% true. I talked about this. How Liz Cheney, for example, voted with Trump a ton. A lot more than the person who was voted to replace her. But because she would not accept the lie about the election being stolen, she was purged from the second most powerful House position within the Republican Party. Because she would not do the song and dance about the lies. And so because she was not their proper performance artist who lies to voters about the election, even though she still supported the same exact voter suppression laws, she was taken out of the party and said, fuck you, get out of here.
I mean in the conservative movement. Lie after lie after lie, because they know something psychologically about the conservative heart. We're worried about what people are going to do to us, what they're going to infringe upon us.
Wow. I love the division, though. When I say the Republican Civil War hasn't ended, this is what I mean, man. It's still going on. Okay, next story. Oh, dude, you guys like the new emote I uploaded? I didn't make any noise about it. It's Punish Dylan. It's from the old November saga, so to speak. It's a good emote. What's this? What is this? Let's change the rigged tax code so the person of the year will actually pay taxes and stop freeloading off of everyone else.
A curd is a curd.
And he responds, stop projecting. Elizabeth Warren is a fraud. Her lies about being Native American. Wait, what does her being Native American have to do with him freeloading and dodging taxes? Dude, he literally just was like, he went back to the greatest hits. This is like when I talked to Rob Noor, and he like randomly brought up the Prime stuff when we were debating shit. I was like, well, I disagree with you on this, this, and this, and he was like, yeah, well, what if you leak my DMs? It's like, this isn't related. Hey, Dylan. Hey, man. I have a question, Lux. Okay, Luxifer, what's your question? Also, Freaky Cheese, thank you for the Prime Gaming. And if anybody else has some Primes or Tier 1s or anything like that, I would appreciate you guys dropping it in the chat. We've gone down a little bit in subs since I went to LA. You know, I was on vacation. And I'd love to see if we can climb back up there because I like money. Anyway, I would appreciate subs, donos, or anything you can to support the channel. Primes don't even cost you a dime. Do you use special conditioner? I use coconut shampoo and coconut conditioner, and I use this thing. I lost it though in the airport when I was flying over to LA. I had this special bottle of like hair gel that I used, especially from a salon. It cost like $50, and they took it and threw it away because they're like, Dylan, if you bring this shampoo on this plane, you're gonna blow it up because terrorism. I was like, yeah, well, okay.
Is a curd.
Take my shampoo bottle then. $50 down the drain. Hey, Viller, thank you so much for the Prime Gaming. Hey, Dylan. Hey, man. I'm currently messaging as many public people to come on to talk to you at stream as I can. Sparky isn't enough? Dude, look. I'm sick of... Look, I haven't debated, like, a lot of conservatives or talked to a lot of conservatives one-on-one in a while. I miss the days where I had my redneck call-ins, okay? Redneck hasn't called in forever. And so, you know, I want to go back to OG Burns, okay? OG Dylan, okay? We're talking to Aircraft Sparky in, like, 19 minutes. And does anybody have any suggestions for what you want me to talk to him about? Because so far, we got a few topics, but... Oh, boy. So he says, stop projecting. Remind me when I was a kid... and my friend's angry mom would just randomly yell at everyone for no reason. Please don't call the manager on me, Senator Karen. How does this get likes, man? You know what Elon should have done? He should have retweeted her and just called her the C word. If he really wanted to... If he really wanted to be original, eh? Now, that would have gotten my attention, okay? And what... Wait. To be clear... When I say the C word, okay, that's going to be clipped. I know it's going to be clipped. When I say the C word, I meant, you know, like Ritz, as in what we're talking about on Twitch, like the recent arc we've been having. When I mean the C word, I mean as in, like, you know, the barrel, and in, you know, Ritz and saltines. That's what I meant, okay? I didn't mean the other one, okay? I didn't think about how that sounded, okay? It's been, okay? So let's bring that in, okay? Yeah, I meant cringe. Yeah, cringe. Oh my god. Casey, thanks for the tier 1. By the way, Crenshaw being Islamophobic on the House floor today. Check this out. Really?
'Tis the season of misplaced priorities. In the midst of rising inflation, labor shortages, open borders, and foreign policy blunders, my colleagues seem to think that Islamophobia is what Americans care about. Well, I'd rather talk about something that Americans actually care about, gassing up their cars and keeping the heat on. In November,
I would like to see if you would be consistent on this. I would like to see if there was accusations of, let's say, anti-Semitism. If you would be as like, oh, this doesn't matter, okay? This doesn't matter at all. If this was, say, accusations of anti-Christian bias, if you'd be standing up and like rising up like, no, this is something that needs to be stopped. It's so weird. Like, Islamophobia is an issue. When you have members of Congress being accused of being terrorists, being called the Jihad Squad, and then being given death threats. Not only being given death threats, but we know that people have sent bombs to many of the legislators in the Jihad Squad when they mailed them out earlier, I think it was like 2 years ago. Like, yeah, it's a legitimate issue. Like, look at this, for example. Here's a great example. Happy Hanukkah to all our Jewish friends and family around the world. During the season, remember when a Jewish army of fought the civilian odds, every time. We must stand united because the scourge of anti-Semitism has not ended. We see it in the form of the BDS movement on college campuses and hate on the alt-right, who have confronted me directly on multiple occasions because I support the Jewish community. We see it in the violence against Jewish people and people What changed? Why was bigotry 2 years ago like an issue, but now it's not an issue? Why is bigotry against Jews, which is terrible and reprehensible, something to be condemned, but bigotry against Muslims is not something to be condemned? Americans more likely to say Muslims face discrimination than to say this about other religions. Oh, it's almost because, there was the presidential candidate, one that Dan Crenshaw supported, that openly called for an unconstitutional ban on Muslims entering the United States. Direct quote, "I'm voting for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until we can figure out what the hell is going on." Then he goes to Rudy Giuliani after. Rudy Giuliani, he says to him, "Hey, tell me how we do a Muslim ban legally." Rudy Giuliani then goes on Fox and Friends and says publicly, this is public knowledge. This is not me lying through my left-wing bias or whatever the fuck, or through my devil horns or my queerness or whatever the hell you think. He then said publicly on Fox and Friends, "The president of the United States came to me and asked me, how do we do a Muslim ban legally?" Islamophobia isn't a problem, though. Even though his colleagues are being called terrorists. Even though the former president of the United States, the same person Dan Crenshaw supported, who is a victim of terrorism, is pretending that a victim of terrorism is actually a supporter of terrorism. Ilhan Omar had to flee Somalia as a young girl because she was a victim of terrorism. If somebody can get me the letter where Donald Trump says, from his press office, "Hey, Ilhan Omar abandoned Somalia." She was 13 or 14. What was she supposed to fucking do? Pick up an AK-47 and fight on the streets? Was she supposed to get in a fighter jet and bomb the terrorists herself? She was 14. What the fuck was she supposed to do? Crazy, man. It's crazy. God, man. Dan Crenshaw is just a hypocrite. I don't, where's the standard of difference? Why is it that when there's discrimination against Muslims, Dan Crenshaw does not give a fuck and says Americans shouldn't care, and they don't care. But then when it's discrimination against Jews, which we should care about both, by the way, now he cares. What is it about his policies that makes him not care about the Muslim community? So that he could support a candidate like Donald Trump, who called for a ban on them? And not only that, but bombing civilians throughout the Middle East, openly called for it. Crazy, man. Okay, here is the statement from Donald Trump. Somebody just posted it in chat. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar should apologize for marrying her brother. That's just a lie. Committing large-scale immigration and election fraud. Both of these things are also lies. Wishing death to Israel, also a lie. And for essentially abandoning her former country. Again, she was 13 or 14 when she fled a country as a refugee because of terrorism. This is the same person being accused of being a terrorist is a victim of terrorism. This is like going up to a victim of rape and calling them a rapist, to be clear. Fuck. There is really, that is what is the similarity here. If somebody's a victim of terrorism and you just calling them a terrorist, it's like going up to a rape victim and calling them a rapist. It's fucking disgusting, man. Jesus Christ. By the way, can I just say, every single time, I remember I made a video. I posted a video. Let me go to the video quick. I had a debate with an ANCAP. Wait, wrong video? Oh no, this is Salvation Army one. This video right here. I had a debate with an ANCAP about like Islamophobia and much of that. And I forget where the comment is, but one of the comments was something along the lines of like, actually, she is an Islamist because she wants to bring like Islamism to the United States, and so jihad is calling her part of the jihad squad makes sense. Ilhan Omar supports abortion. She supports gay marriage. She supports trans people. She supports feminism. Where is her hardcore religious fundamentalist like ties? I don't see it. Where's the hardcore like religious fundamentalism? I never like. There's not like a chapter of Al-Shabaab fighting for trans people. That's not a thing. That doesn't exist. Anyway, let's go back to Crenshaw's statement.
President Biden said, quote, "The reason Americans are facing high gas prices is because oil-producing countries and large companies have not ramped up the supply of oil quickly enough to meet the demand, and the smaller supply means a higher price." Well, that's true, but he's not making the point that he thinks he is. Yeah, there's a lack of production, but the question is why? Why has the world's #1 oil and gas producer, the United States, not been able to ramp up production? And the answer is actually simple, because Joe Biden has made it a priority to kill the American energy industry.
This is not true. Biden has been approving drilling permits like a motherfucker. I don't know if you've seen it, but I think he's been approving like drilling permits at a much faster rate than Donald Trump did. Let me check this quick. Joe Biden drilling permits. Here it is. Why is Biden approving public lands oil drilling permits faster than Trump did and angering environmentalists? He is quite literally doing stuff to piss people like me off when it comes to how fast he's approving these drilling permits at a much faster speed than Donald Trump did. So if you've got a problem with the speed and you think Biden should be doing it faster, which, by the way, that would be literally insane, but if you think Biden's speed of approving permits and these types of things is the problem, then you've got to have a bigger problem with Donald Trump, who approved them at a slower rate. Yeah, the driller in chief, exactly. How many Trump supporters are in my chat? I'm actually curious. It seems I only have 2 at the moment. I'm doing a poll. I only have 2? There's 761 people in here. I only have 2 Trump supporters in the entirety of my chat. Well, of course, not all of you are going to vote, but that translates to what? Oh, now it's 3, so that's 6%. 6% of my community's Trump support. Oh, now it's 7%. Oh, shit. We're skyrocketing. Oh, it's 8% now, baby. Oh, boy. Okay. That's enough of this story. Jesus Christ. Dan Crenshaw, hypocrite in chief.